absolute pleasure to witness some of the future stars.
Touch of class.
Ready to collect all the accolades that come with this historic event.
Welcome to the City of Gold and a country rich in golfing history, where tomorrow's stars compete on a world-class platform. The third editions of the RNA Africa Amateur Championship and the Africa Women's Invitational, both events being contested at Royal Johannesburg. And it is certainly a privilege to be here at the Beast of the East in the Gauteng province of South Africa. I'm Andrew Hope, and alongside me in commentary, Stanley McCullum and Oji Molefe.
Good day, it's great to be here at an iconic venue, and it is in such splendid condition.
Good afternoon, Andrew and Tandy. Absolutely. Royal Johannesburg, of course, such a historic venue in South African golf. Has hosted 7 South African Opens, and most recently the Alfred Daniel Championship, meaning the players this week have got a fantastic setting.
The showcase on African talent. The mercury is set to reach a high of 25 degrees Celsius, and not very much wind to speak of. It is a sparkling, spectacular day in Johannesburg for what is a prestigious championship being showcased around the world. The RNA Africa Amateur Championship, the Africa Amateur Women's Invitational. The opening round of what is said to be a spectacular week and life-changing opportunities on the line, OG.
Oh, indeed. The men will be playing 72 holes in the week, and then the top 40 entires will progress after a 36-hole cut. And what do they get? Oh, fantastic opportunities. A spot at the 154th Open at Royal Birkdale. They get to play in the Amateur Championship this year. Qualify for the Investec South African Open Championship in a few weeks, which will be played in Stellenbosch. And then the Waterfall City Tournament of Champions, powered by Attack on the Sunshine Tour. And then the Alfred Daniel Championship as well on a DP World Tour. So there's a lot to play for this week.
And Danny, the women amateurs are playing 54 holes of stroke play.
The champion of the Africa Amateur Women's Invitational will see herself gaining access into the AIG Women's Open final qualifying for this year, the Women's Amateur Championship, Ladies Joburg Open, which will be hosted at Rand Park, and the Investec South African Women's Open, which will be hosted at Royal Cape. And last but by no means least, the Waterfall City Tournament of Champions, hosted and powered by Attack, back here at Royal.
We are at Royal after this championship was hosted at prestigious Leopard Creek the last 2 years. Lots of fauna and flora to look out for as the broadcast unfolds during the course of 4 rounds. And this man, Brian Newman, prevailed at Leopard Creek last year, and our men's champion is back to defend after also playing in the Open at Royal Portrush last year.
I'm really excited to be back playing this tournament again. It's a real privilege to play it again, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm very excited. It was a big relief, and I was just really looking forward to what was to come, and now it's all happened, and I really want to do it again, obviously. I had the most incredible time last year, especially at the Open. It was just so cool, like on the first tee, hearing your name getting called out, and there's a lot of spectators, and that's just always so cool. I learned a lot for sure about my golf and just about being at the highest level. Definitely a lot to work on, but it was an awesome experience. Very grateful for the RNA for these opportunities. It's so awesome that the RNA is able to grow the game so well in Africa. Even though we're from the same continent, I haven't met most of these people, so it's nice to make some new friends, meet some new people, and yeah, learn from each other. Once again, I had the most incredible time at the Open, so if I could do that again, I'd really love to. So yes, that's more motivation to do well this week.
Brian Newman will be looking to go back-to-back here at Royal Johannesburg. Sparkling setting.
He had such a great open. I mean, got to practice with Patrick Harrington, Min Woo Lee. Took the best of Royal Portrush, and we'll be looking forward to do that again.
Dominic Musonda of Zambia has got off to a wonderful start, an eagle putt at 8.
And also earlier, Dominic Musonda at the 10th, this for a birdie, putting down the hill. Nicely rolls that one in.
And this at the par 5 8th hole earlier on, Charles Barnard. Dogleg left, par 5. Fantastic approach. Went on to sink that putt for his eagle 3.
This man was in contention 12 months ago, even for Stad. Superb chip shot at 8. Slam dunk. Dominic Musonda, what a run he's had today. This was at 14, up the hill for a birdie 3. A first putt to boot. The Zambian. He's made a name for himself in recent times, especially at this championship. And he leads the way in a share of the lead with Charles Barnard, even for Ster, Malan Potgieter, Andries van der Vyver and Jack Buchanan are sharing 5th position on 2 under par, a solitary stroke behind the lead quartet.
Beauty of this tournament is that 21 nations represented, and you can see already on the first page of the leaderboard so many nationalities that have descended on South African soil for this wonderful R&A Africa Amateur Championship.
The best amateur professionals, or best amateurs out of the continent here this week, 72 in total. And as you said, OG, 21 countries and territories being represented.
Having a further look down that leaderboard, Michael Karanga had a good run at this event last year, +2 so far through his first 4 holes. Victor Mokel, +2 on the first. Darlington Chikanyambitsa also contended last year.
Adel Taufik Bilala, +3 through the opening 6 holes in his opening round, in a tie for 36th position. Keegan Shute, seasons back, shot 62 around Leopard Creek.
See a couple of players still to tee off. That's of Rudolph Craig.
Nigeria in the field for the very, very first time at the Africa Amateur Championship. So great to see the powerful West African nation here at Royal Johannesburg.
Here we are live at the AT box. And that looks like it's gone quite quickly off into those left-hand trees. Hopefully it's managed to scuttle out into a decent lie.
8 being a par 5. So probably won't have the opportunity to get there in 2. Down on the ground, having made the trip all the way to South Africa, is our on-course commentator, Sophie Walker.
Good morning, everybody. It's glorious sunshine out here, just a sprinkling of white clouds, maybe a club wind from the northwest as Shute fires one down the middle. Now Keegan must be thinking, I can't get out the blocks at this Africa Amateur. Both times he's played in it, he's put himself behind the 8-ball and had to fire low over the weekend. It's looking like the same for him already with the start. Fortunately, a double bogey for this man on the short par 3 5th hole, so he's fighting back as well.
That's Eli Bana from Kenya. That one out to the right-hand side. A little bit of timber to contend with.
I think it's going to be a great experience for Eli Bana to play alongside these two players. They're very experienced as we make our way ahead up to the 9th. Shortish par 4 from the long left-hand greenside bunker. Difficult pin placing to access, but he's done quite a good job there.
Ghanaian amateur, wearing his country's flag proudly on the sleeve.
To the 10th, Ivan Feste has got that left for his par. Remains in a tie for the lead at 3 under par. Had such a good start to this event a couple of years ago. Led heading into the final round.
Lots of the amateurs just fine-tuning preparations before their first rounds begin. Amazing amenities around Royal Johannesburg. Taking a look at the previous winners of the Africa Amateur Championship. Elton van der Merwe now plies his trade on the Sunshine Tour and continues to knock on the door in pursuit of a breakthrough professional win, one in 2024. And then Brian Newman was part of our featured group in the opening round, won at Leopard Creek 12 months ago.
Elton, of course, delayed turning pro, having won the Africa Amateur Championship in 2004 because he got himself an entry to Royal Troon to play in the Open, and he only turned pro after coming back from that experience.
And here's a look at our previous Africa Amateur Women Champions, Kira van Kaan, victorious at Leopard Creek in 2024, and last year Gia Raat, also up at Leopard Creek. She'll be making her way off later this year to university in the States. Something different, something new, a whole new chapter for her in her golfing experience. We will catch a glimpse of her a little later on today as the women will be teeing off just after midday.
For deserved champions, remarkable performances they produced over the last 2 years. Looking at the par 5/8, playing up the hill. Favorable position today.
This is the match of Mohamed Aziz Dardoui, Felix Tusabi and Aladdin Salama. Great to see players from all nationalities across Africa, Egypt, Tunisia and Rwanda. This putting ever so slightly uphill. Should come from his right and then break back a little at the end. Greens are rolling at 11.4 on the stump this week, so just magnificent. Well read, just a touch shy of pace.
Left-handers just look so classy, and in all sporting codes. Man from Tunisia, just tapping in.
Tusabi next to play, the man from Rwanda. This for a birdie. This 8th hole offering up lots of birdies to the players. A couple of eagles earlier on, as we saw with Dominic Masunda, as well as Charles Barnard. This is going to break ever so slightly downhill and a touch from the left. Just catching that left edge and dropping in. Sure, he'll feel very content with himself as he makes his way to the 9th tee box with a birdie on the par 5. Good bounce back after the previous hole.
2 red numbers in 3 holes at Rwanda. Ella Ella. Birdie putt across the green at 14. Superb stuff. Four birdies on his card so far. He's at 1 under par, just 2 strokes behind at the moment.
There's a par putt there, just to clean up.
Chandra Ludic also left with a little knee knocker to save his par and remain at 1 under.
That earlier was the putt of the Zimbabwean Manesu Chamini. Ludic, a product of the Golf RSA development program in South Africa. Playing with Kingsley Afool from Ghana.
Well, Keegan blasted this up the hill, 350 yards, just miss the bunkers on the right hand side. He's from the upslope. He has got 200 yards, but there's 10 yards of elevation here. So a long iron here, going for it into.
And that was a very uncomfortable and awkward stance for Keegan Shit, the Zimbabwean. Ball above his feet coming out the semi. But right now we will make our way back to Dominic Masunda. This for slightly aggressive play at the birdie on the 15th. He's left himself probably about 4 yards left to salvage a par.
Look at the par 3 12th hole here at Royal Johannesburg Golf Club.
One of the real iconic holes around this great property. The pin today, 15 on, 5 from the right.
And here we have the group of Christopher Mbi, Gilbert Chalwe and Adrian Andrade.
Really interesting pin placement there. Brings that bunk on the right hand side into play. Really the player might tell you that this tee box almost makes you favor a draw in a way. Therefore you want to almost start it at that bunker and work it to the heart of the green.
Neat composed looking golf swing. Shouldn't have too much difficulty there trying to get up and down.
Ellie hit it right off the tee box, was in the trees and hit 3-wood to here. So this is his 3rd shot, 94 yards from the first cut of rough, so won't spin quite as much. Pitching into the slope, looking to get this one in tight.
Touch of a flyer there out of the longer grass.
Dominic Masunda now the 22-year-old. In 2022 he won the Zambia National Amateur. Got a wealth of experience playing this game. Oh, he read it just on the left, maybe a touch softer, would have caught the edge of the hole and dropped, so that's going to be an unfortunate bogey.
All sorts of trouble for Newman. Left off the tee, didn't chip it out properly, it was still in the rough, hacked a wood into this bunker, which he was surprised it got there. He's now got 84 yards. Upslope will be on his mind.
Arguably the hardest shot in golf. He's judged that quite nicely. Our defending champion, Michael Wallace, hunting for birdie at 13. Touch of the right, but judged it to perfection. Even for Ster. It's on the short grass at 11. Towering iron shot.
Players this week, of course, aren't allowed to have caddies. So you'll see a few that are strong like Keegan here, carrying their own bags. But the majority with a push trolley.
And OG, there's some hills on this golf course. I'm out here walking and there's a gentle slope to this 8th hole par 5. I'm feeling it. I've got the big rimmed cap on, or hat should I say, to protect me from the sunshine. But when Andrew said 25 degrees, it certainly feels hotter than that. And you can see the shine on these greens.
Course over a couple of weeks has been allowed to dry out. Some heavy rains fell over the last 2 months. It's allowed the organisers to prepare for the championship. Amazing work being done by Royal Johannesburg to get the golf course prepared for these players. Tony, a big factor this week is being able to get the speed of the greens early on.
It is. They're not big greens. They're quite small, but they're bent grass, which is the fast grass when it comes to golf. If you've got bent greens, then you must need a lot of water if you're in the southern hemisphere to keep these alive, but it means they run so true. And what a wonderful shot he's hitting here from 200 yards. This is downhill. It's from right to left. For eagle to get this round going. Now, Tandy, you've been in situations where you're desperate to do well in a tournament, but you just can't get out with the blocks. What do you think it is with Keegan in this event?
I think it also might be Sophie, the company he's playing with this week. There's a bit of pressure, maybe a little bit of expectation. We know his golf's in a good space, but he still has 3 more days to mount a charge.
Yeah, I know. His weekend play is very good, but a couple of opening 74s in this event. He's managed to get a couple of top 10s, but the way this man is built, he should be tearing apart the par 5s. He bogeys the first hole, and you think, does that set the tone? I think it started bogey. Newman's been steadier in the scorecard, 1 bogey, 1 birdie, but has got the lefts off the tee. Hit it left on 7, left on 8. This outside left for his par.
Lovely putt from Brian Newman to save his par at 8. It's a run of 6 pars in a row after making that drop shot Sophie spoke about at the second. A touch of the lefts, perhaps a bit of nerves being the defending champion.
I definitely think there's going to be a bit of nerves, as well as maybe performance expectation, wanting to do well this week and not focusing on one shot at a time. He does have good experience. I'm sure he'll settle in as the round goes on, and nothing that a couple of birdies won't sort out. Ilibano, just 1 bogey and 1 double on the scorecard, yet to card a red number.
To the 11th, the par 4 stroke 1 here for the members at Royal Johannesburg. He got first there for his birdie putt. Has he got it? Absolutely. Goes back into a share of the lead at the top at -4.
Speaking to Ivan yesterday, just such a relaxed demeanor about him, walking around with a big smile.
Here's a look at the 9th hole. A slight gentle bend to the right-hand side. Uphill par 4, well bunkered on the right and the left. Depending on how far you hit it off the tee, you may want to negotiate that last bunker on the right or go conservative further back. A green that looks seemingly simple, but it's got a lot of hidden undulations. And flag is very similar to where you see it there today, just 5 paces from the right-hand side.
And characterized by the dog tree on the right-hand side. Doesn't have any bark.
Putting slightly uphill, little from the left. There's a big camber on the screen from left-hand side, coming off that left-hand bunker, filtering down towards the right.
Par 3, 16th hole. Dominic Musonda playing 148 meters today. Flag on the left hand side. Staying well clear of any trouble.
Such a pretty golf hole.
Personally, I think it can be quite terrifying when that flag is on the front left.
Oh, that's
Looks
a
like
dangerous one. Can't wait to actually see that pin later in the week.
Looks like it's just over the water.
Oh, it's uphill back to the clubhouse, this par 4. There's 2 bunkers down the right-hand side, almost in the middle of this fairway. 300 yards clears the lot. What wind there is from the right.
Watching that one awkwardly. So if you can go about playing this hole with different strategies, Keegan went with the driver.
After the drive that he hit on 8, it was the right play. He can easily carry that bunker. You can go down the left-hand side or left half and hit it 260. 260 leaves you short of the 2 bunkers on the right-hand side and the one far left, and that does open up this right pin also. But I would say that fairway is maybe 20 yards wide to hit with the layup. And that's what Royal Johannesburg offers you, I think. It's decision making. It's quite a narrow golf course. If you want to take driver, if you're feeling confident, then go for it. But if you happen to kind of miss a fairway, it really does get into your head.
Certainly is demanding. Can be a true test. Here's Barno, the Kenyan.
It's good to see Martin Hatchell, chairman of the RNA, there on the 9th tee box watching the action. That's exactly where you want to be. Middle of the fairway on 9 gives you such a great chance to start it just slightly left, work it to that right-hand side pin.
Where the pin is today, 20 on 5 from the right. With the conditions a little bit softer around these parts, they'll be looking to take advantage. Two at the top at 4 under par, Charles Barnard and even Verster, playing out of the Rainbow Nation of South Africa.
Defending champion Brian Newman, steady start. Birdie's not quite coming. 1 birdie, 1 bogey on his front side so far. A share of 11th place on level par.
Carl Johnson, the Namibian, also got a good start earlier on today, alongside Daniel Bennett and John Legerma. Sure, he's enjoying his return to this event at a new venue.
Kingsley Afool from Ghana has been in our early broadcast. He's gone through 9, looking to make up ground on the inward half. Menesu Chimini of Zimbabwe is also in the field, along with Elvis Gu. He's a +1.
Michael Karanga gave it a good go the previous edition of the Africa Amateur Championship. Currently 2 over through 6.
Stallion Dhaka, lovely name, +3 through 10. Khalildin Zalama of Egypt. The Pharaohs at +3.
Good to see a couple of Moroccans as well in the field. They, of course, recently hosted the Africa Cup of Nations, coming just short in the final.
Royal Johannesburg has hosted 10 Investec SA Open Championships. It is the stage for the RNA Africa Amateur Championship. Barnard Verster at 4 under par, leading by a solitary stroke ahead of Milan Potgieter. Dominique Masunda, he's in a share for 4th, 2 under par. Plenty of highlights in his round. At 10, beginning the back 9. This is a long par 4.
Dardoui. Lovely swing, beautiful pose and follow through at the end, catching just on the left-hand side of the 10th fairway. Should be a good angle. It's not too bad, having just caught the semi. And a big shout out to the course staff who have provided such a fantastic course condition, and the course superintendent Jan Hendrik Dievenage alongside his team. I had the privilege of playing here a little over 2 weeks ago, and all I can say is it's magnificent.
Let's go to the 11th, Jandre Ludic. The 10th and 11th here at Royal Joburg, often referred to as some of the 2 longest par 4s back-to-back in the world, measuring 474 meters and 457 respectively.
Dandy Singh played here a couple of weeks ago. What words of encouragement, strategy would you tell these players?
Definitely got to be very consistent and solid off the tee box if you want to have chances at making birdies on this course. So paramount on tee shot play. Definitely a thinker's course.
Beautiful tee shot has left himself 152 yards. Back pin. Dare he take it on from the fairway? You'd hope it would spin. There's only 8 yards of green over the back of it.
Green does slope from back to front. Finds the green. Solid effort. Albeit a little bit further than he probably would have hoped for, given the position he was in the fairway.
Now Newman's ball, oh, it's sat up like a coconut in this first cut. This cuckoo grass, it can sit high or drop in. It's sat right at the top of it from 126 yards. This is going to come down with some height on it. The flag is only 5 from the right-hand side here. So looking for a 3/4 swing. Take the flight down, but taking dead aim.
Top shot from Newman on what is a gorgeous day around Royal Johannesburg. Very little wind to speak of.
Well, if I was in this bunker, you wouldn't be able to see me at 5'4", but Keegan is colossus, towering over 6 feet. He's got 110 yards left. The lie is good.
Best contact from the Zimbabwean over to the Zambian. Musonda, cool looking character.
Dominic Musonda was with the first group out this morning. It's always great to head out early and post a good score early on. You can have a nice kick back, relax, enjoy your lunch and watch as the scores come in for the afternoon players.
He's playing with Andries van der Vyver and Darlington Chikambidze. Andries van der Vyver, he's currently at 2 under par and a share of 4th position alongside his playing partner. Solid stuff.
Almost feel like they're feeding a little off each other's energy and momentum. It's always great to play with a player when they're making some birdies. And start to feel like you can make some birdies too.
OG, a tough line. Darduri's drawn here.
Oh man, on this 10th hole, you do not want to be that side. You'll try to work it through the trees here, keep it as low as possible. Give yourself a great opportunity of at least having a good look at a decent third in. With the thick kikuyu grass, that ball could pop anywhere. That is brilliantly done. Get on. Oh, that is such a fantastic result. Take that every day.
One of the shots of the day from the Tunisian talent.
Second shot from the right-hand trees on the par 4 14th. So many trees to try and get through. That's a really good effort, feeding beautifully onto the green, utilizing that slope that brings it back towards the flag. Excellent recovery.
We are really seeing some great recovery shots. All the nations being represented this week.
Coming from the high side, landed it on the downslope, no green to work with. It's only 5 yards from the right. He's got to land this in the fringe, take the sting out of it.
Such a neat touch. Has there been much talk amongst these three?
Not on the last few holes, because, well, 8 and 9 are all back up the hill, Andrew. No one's talking.
It's a little bit warmer, you say today, Sophie.
I think we've had a very good week of weather. I mean, keep speaking to all the locals. I mentioned about all the rain. We had 35 mil on Sunday night, real downpour. So that took the fire out of the golf course from tee to fairway. But into the greens, that first bounce is still firm. They've got a nice firmness about these greens, which is why you need to come in from the fairway.
Are we looking at a potential outside chance of a birdie here?
This just the most subtlest of breaks, 1% you would say on aim point from left to right. Barno's got to be careful that he doesn't give it too much. We all know these greens slope from back to front, but this one is just a smidgen left to right.
Such a quick putt from there. Barno's definitely given it the respect it deserves. Just needed to start it slightly left, but you can be happy with that.
An exquisite approach from Brian Newman to this point. Tandy, how do you see this putt?
Well, for starters, I think he would have had a quick look in there at Elibano's putt as it slowed down towards the hole to get an idea of the pace. He can be a little bit more aggressive on this one because he definitely wants to make another birdie. He's not scared to make the 2-footer coming back, so just inside the left, putting downhill. Maybe a touch more pace, it would have held its line, so it's going to be a tap-in par for our champion from last year. Good solid opening 9, just one drop shot and one birdie and a whole host of pars.
Just started his studies out in the USA, early stages of his collegiate career. He can shoot. That's for par, cleans up. Front half of 39, some ground to make up for the Zimbabwean.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what Sophie said earlier, a long header off the tee. You definitely feel like you should be capitalizing on the par 5s. As we look at Elibano now, just cleaning up for a par here at the 9th. And Elibano won the 2025 NCBA Mount Kenya Championship. He's defended his title from 2024, so he knows how to get himself into contention. Looks like he's enjoying himself.
Andre Ludek's approach at 11 from the second cut.
Dominic Musonda now, his approach into the par 4 17th. Brilliant drive into this shortish par 4. Using the contours of the green.
Did you say shortish? I didn't know there were any shortish par 4s around the beast.
Hence I said ish.
Is it fair to say this back 9 plays a little bit tighter?
Look, I think both 9s are tough, man. Finding fairways is premium around the East Coast. That's where you're going to actually make the difference, but there isn't one that I would say is an easier 9. For someone like Keegan Shute, who's such a long hitter, would have hoped to make full use of the 3 par 5s on that side. There's only one on the back side, so the back 9, just the 18th is the par 5. Charles Barnett here hoping to jump into solo possession of the lead at 5 under par at 14 with a birdie putt, and oh, just was out of speed at the last seconds. Good read though. Cleaned it up for a par to remain at 4 under.
There's been some reply from the South African after making a drop shot of the 4th following 3 straight pars. Since then, he's made 3 birdies and an eagle, which came at the 8th.
I said shortish, Andrew, because you can see I think they're going in with about a sandwich into 17. Oh, brilliant shot.
Awesome from Andries.
Two par 4s to come, and they should be par 5s. 1,000 yards, 10 and 11 play when you add them together.
How crazy is that?
Oh, unbelievable. There's a bunker on the right-hand side that starts at 279. In fact, there's staggering bunkers left, right, and far left. Positioned excellently. Looking to take this down the left half.
He can cover those bunkers. He's got the length. And that is a brilliant, brilliant tee shot there from Keegan Shute.
The capabilities of waving at a bunker at 290 carry, hey? OG,
you can't even
understand
comprehend that? I mean, come on, sir. Oh, my goodness.
Likes to hit a fade, does Newman, so we're looking down the left-hand side traps to try and work it off them.
Fortunately, the lefts continue for Newman.
That's 3 in a row off the tee down that left-hand side, unnerving. The wind it's almost died down a touch. There's a breath from the left off this long par 4 tee box. Bunker on the right in play.
Couple waggles before he pulls the trigger.
Ooh, might have found that bunker on the right hand side there. Elibano makes that second shot into that par 4 10th ever so difficult. Hopefully he finds himself a good lie in the bunker there.
And Tandy and Sophie alluded to the fact that 10 and 11 are really testing par 4s. Here we have a look at even a first at 13, finding yet another fairway.
Hasn't quite the head the last 6-7 months they would have liked, but with shots like these he can get back into the winner's circle hopefully. What a wonderful approach there for our co-leader.
Musonda gently down the hill at the penultimate hole. Musonda remains at 2 under par for the championship. Arduri out of Tunisia. The first cut, opting to use the flat stick.
Would have been such a miracle birdie if that had gone. It's such an unbelievable recovery shot.
This is the third start for the 22-year-old. Couple of bogeys on the front nine, looking to pick up some birdies as he makes his way through that back nine. This on the 17th. Hard
After
left to right.
magician's touch out of the trees. Oh, unfortunately just pushes to the right-hand side, Andries van Vijver. An opportunity slips on by. In this event, the RNA continuing their commitment to having the most talented amateur golfers competing against each other on the most of world-class platforms.
Having a look at the par 4 10th, Sophie alluded, such a long hole for Keegan Shoot. None of those bunkers in play. If you can draw it, you want to work it over that right-hand bunker. Somewhere here is where you want to land, essentially, that green slanting from right to left. Of course, protected by those 2 bunkers. And if you are on the left-hand side, makes it so difficult. But we saw a couple of miracle shots to get into position. That front left pin, not too dangerous today.
We saw the tee shot of the Kenyan Eli Bano. Has he found the fairway bunker?
He has, and he's up against the face as well, which leaves him 195 yards to the pin that sits at the front of this green. He's going to do well to get there because the elevation from the upslope and then that front of the bunker is only 2-3 yards away from him. It's easy to catch this fat and it comes up short. That would be the miss really here. You've got to be so balanced in the right foot as you start the downswing here. You've got to keep the legs really quiet, and then it just becomes all upper body strength. If you compare his tee shot to Keegan's shoot, Keegan's another 70 yards down this fairway. He's deciding what wedge to hit. So let's check out the stance here. Keep these legs quiet. 195 front pin. No chance.
Such a difficult shot to get it up over that lip. So much distance, and you've got to anchor your base. And as you heard Sophie say, quiet legs. As we go ahead to the 13th with Verstad, this for a birdie and the outright lead.
Solid. Perfect read, perfect pace. Ivan Verstad takes possession of solo lead here in the opening round of the Africa Amateur Championship at 5 under par. 2 birdies on the back 9 so far.
And 5 on the card. Been blemish free.
Well, down the left was Newman. He had to keep it under some branches, 175 yards to the pin, and he's found the greenside bunker on the right-hand side of this par 4 10th.
Keegan shoots with another terrific tee shot over 300 yards.
80 yards past Ellie was. I said 60 or 70, so apologies, Keegan. 114 yards left to this hole, which is a 500-yard par 4. He carries 4 wedges. This is just looking like a flick. Pin is cut on the left-hand side. It's 9 on, so he's looking maybe 10 feet to the right of it. Look at the loft in his hands. Lob wedge from 110 yards.
Beautiful distance control and spin exhibited by the man from Zim. A little over 10 feet left for a birdie opportunity. Looking to pick up some birds on this back 9.
He's a strong man.
Muneso Chimini from Zimbabwe. Tee shot on the downhill par 3 12. 2 over for his day, looking to pick up some birdies, pull some shots back on these scoreable holes, and that's a beautiful shot. It's going to have a little over 12 feet or so, and a little look at a birdie.
You want to start it almost at that red flag at the back there. Work it slightly right to left here. Will trickle down towards the flag if you start on that line. Eli Bano absolutely has to get the spot on, not to drop any more shots here.
Took your advice, OG. Like that for his par, having found the fairway bunker off the tee. That's a layup. Red hot South African Ivan Verstad is leading the way at the RNA Africa Amateur Championship at 5 under par. Leads by 1 ahead of Charles Barnard. Dominic Musonda has plenty of highlights. It is at 2 under par and a share 4th. Jean Demont is at +1. Vivek backs. Also a share of 25th. Hamad Adakan from Nigeria, making his presence felt this week for the very first time. Shepherd Chiwaya from Zimbabwe is at +3. Overlooking the beast of the East. Here at the beautiful Royal Johannesburg East Championship course for the continent's top prize, the Africa Amateur Championship, which is being played simultaneously with the Africa Amateur Women's Invitational.
Well, of course, the two great golf courses, the East and the West course. For this week's championship, players playing the East Championship course, and Brian Newman not with the best result from their chip. Really hasn't been a great start to his defense, but there's still a lot of golf to be played.
Yeah, Brian Newman's got a little bit of work left to salvage a single bogey here at the first of two very difficult par fours, which open up the back nine here at Royal Johannesburg. Definitely do not want to be carding doubles and put up a threat to defend his title. Elibana first to putt, though. This is also to salvage a par, having found the fairway bunker. Not having much of a shot, managed to hit it out to about 70 yards or so, and he's left himself this to save the par. Keep moving to the right. What a great par.
Sensational. What a save there by Elibana. Interesting putting stroke there.
Yeah, almost like he plays on very slow greens, a little poppy, a little short back and through.
Zambia's
effective.
Gilbert Chalware putting across the green here, trying to make it back-to-back birdies. Incredible.
King and shoot pulling out of that one. Really wants to get back to red numbers. Golden opportunity there for a birdie following a fantastic drive down the 10th. Didn't take advantage. Stays at 2 over for the tournament.
Newman for his bogey putt at 10. Found the trees on the left-hand side. Well, unfortunately, he's going to drop 2 there and slip back to 2 over par. So he looks to pick himself up at 11.
Par 4 11th plays as the stroke 1 for the members. You can take it over the trees on the right hand side here. You want to pitch it just to here, open up that green, give yourself an opportunity. Anything left, you just kind of get yourself stuck behind those trees, so you don't want to do that. On the right hand side, you might just find a gap protected by that penalty area in front, which is challenging, and a bunker on the left hand side protecting it as well. And that pin to the front left brings that bunker into play. Elevated tee box here. Sophie, what are they looking at?
That's the good news, isn't it? Because it's 496 yards, but guess what? It plays 5 yards down the hill. And goodness. It's a dogleg from left to right. And if you choose to kind of go over those trees that you were talking about, OG, it's 310 yards. So shoot, looking down. Finishing it. There's a tree in the distance right by one of the cameramen. That's the kind of line you want to finish this one on.
Just the 3-wood for the big Zimbabwean. Oh, hopefully that tree in front is not going to impede his second shot.
We've got some breeze helping down off the right, and Barno, he's not as long as Keegan, so he can always hit driver. He can just get into it, whereas Keegan's like, should I take 2-iron or 3-wood or go with the driver and play aggressive?
Sophie, quick question for you while you're out there enjoying the sunshine. I'm having a look out of the commentary box, although it's beautifully air conditioned. Is there any breeze to speak of out there?
Yeah, I said Tandy. I said it's a breeze down off your right hand side on this par 4. We're just waiting on this tee box. The group in front have had a little bit of trouble, so the group in front kind of just came out of the bushes on the left-hand side, so our two hit, and now Brian is left on the tee box waiting for the player in front of us to hit his approach into the green.
Maybe some time for some reflection, get himself back into play for Brian Newman. So important to try and find the short stuff here on this 11th hole.
Tandy, from experience, how does this young man go about composing himself once again?
I think he has to just remind himself he's still got another 3 full days of golf ahead of him. You are bound to make a mistake at some stage. It's all about the mental recovery. And it's also about the very next shot, giving it 100% and clearing your mind of what may or may have not happened previously. You've still got 8 more holes to go. And with those 8 more holes to go, 8 more potential birdies, provided that your mindset is conducive towards that. So Newman with the driver in hand, looking to keep it well up the right-hand side. So important to find this fairway at 11.
Fortunately hasn't pulled this one left like the 3 previous drives, so something's kind of working there for Brian Newman. That's what you want to do, find the middle of the fairway at 11, give yourself a chance.
Barnard for birdie, gets that to drop. With that, he takes his tally to 5 under par. Incredible scoring out here on the opening day. Now in a share of the lead.
That's a very nice birdie for the 18-year-old. It's part of the Golf RSA national squad.
Narrowly missing the birdie chance.
A little bit of a frustrating day. Can't be that bad. He's a 2 under par. High standards.
Sophie speaking about the wind slightly picking up. If you look at the top of the trees at Royal, you can see just the touch of the breeze coming into play for this back nine here.
Just a short drive from the center of Johannesburg, the most populous province of South Africa, Gauteng. This is Mohammed Aziz Dardouri of Tunisia.
Mohammed Aziz unfortunately missed the cut in 2024. And as mentioned, this is his third start. In 2022, he won the Pan Arab Under-18 Youth Championship in Tunisia. His first accumulation of world ranking points. Beautifully judged pace. It's a little to the left-hand side. He'll just tap that in and make his way onto the next hole. Three bogeys on the card, yet to card a red number.
Felix Dusebi from Rwanda, just cleaning up there. Also playing with Aliadine Salama. Two putts there from the Egyptian.
A little bit of a mixed scorecard, but no doubt enjoying his experience out here at Royal as we look at Ivan Verstaeg cleaning up for a par at the 14th. Another one of the very scoreable par fours, and that is very unfortunate. I must admit though, it does look like he came out of that putt very quickly.
Well, pushed it off the tee box, so he's left himself in the rough. The lie's okay. The ball is sat on a downslope, but there's water. It's in play. He's got 185 yards to the flag and 172 yards to carry the water.
Not the worst result there for Bano. So much to think about with that approach from the right and rough penalty area. You have to
inside 150 yards for Newman. Wind into his face. Play this 1-6-2.
Yeah, those trees might have just forced him to aim a bit right. Was trying to work it in from right to left. Just stayed out there. Yeah, tricky downhill putt coming up for Brian Newman.
140.
Yeah, I thought as much from the tee shot. Didn't have much of an option there, Keegan shoot, but to just work it out sideways, try and leave yourself a favorable distance. If you can, just knock it close, walk away with a par.
Third shot on 18 for the Egyptian, Isa Abdul Alaila. Utilizing that slope beautifully. Oh, he can't believe it, and neither can I. I thought that was perfect. The only good thing about that is it's a little tap in. Sure, after making all those wonderful birdies, he's not feeling a thing as we head back down to the 11th.
Keegan has the same yardage as he did on 10. Flick with a lob wedge, front pin.
Come on, get close, get close. What he would pay for that to have been a second shot.
OG, you play a lot of your golf here at Royal Johannesburg, and we know this course is well known as the Beast of the East. Don't you sometimes feel that this 10th and 11th hole, the two long par fours, if you're out of position, play them like a par 5, hit it into play, and then let your wedge shot get you nice and close and try and make what feels like a birdie, but in actual fact it's a great par?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the way I always approach these two holes. If I walk off with a par, it definitely feels like a birdie, but don't try to get too smart, especially at 11. 10 sometimes you might get away with, but at 11, if you try to be too smart, it could catch you out. And I think that's why I said I liked what Keegan did there. Just punch it out, give yourself a wedge shot, and try and at least walk off with that par. And if he does knock that in, he will definitely walk away feeling like he's won something on that hole.
There's a very frequent and common sight in South Africa, the Hardy-Dar ibis. Enjoying some delicious lunch, should we say?
Do you think some visitors might be put off by the sounds of the Hardy-Dar this week?
We had the Tournament of Champions here last year in May, and I remember one of the players saying, "Oh, they're so beautiful." And I said, until they make their noise.
On your backswing.
It's going to be Brian to put first. He's spoken about his favourite golfer is Colin Morikawa, the Open champion at Royal St George's, and I think you saw that there with the fact that he just couldn't quite get it to draw around that tree. He does like to see it move from left to right, but he's left himself outside 30 feet. Downhill, the pace is more of a key here, and he just wants to look down this right hand side and have it coming in at kind of a falling pace. Don't want to rush this one past for birdie.
Good attempt. You will have watched it closely as it sailed past the hole.
I tell you something, Barno hit an unbelievable shot from the rough on the left-hand side to finish it here. He's just going to hope it runs through the first cut of fairway rough here. It's down the hill, outside left. This would be sub 3.
And I definitely feel that smart club selection from where he is, because it's a very delicate chip from that first cut, chipping onto the downslope. Not much green to work with, quite shiny grain. So that one coming up about 1.5 feet short, but a very good effort.
I disagree, Sophie. From that rough, it's always such an intimidating shot. For him to cover the penalty area and give himself a chance even at trying to get the birdie, that was huge. Keegan shoot now for what would be an amazing par putt. Let's see if the smart play pays off. Massive. Oh, Keegan shoot. That's how you get that birdie par, Tandy.
Yeah, there's many ways to tame a hole. Sometimes it's just one good shot. In that case, it was the putt.
3 shots now in the last 2 holes, the defending champion.
It's quite interesting. His ball was lined up like just a hair inside the left, and I think from that range of putt he should not be looking for anything more than left of centre, especially at that pace.
I was going to say, at that pace, you want to go a little more inside. Good for Bano.
Definitely feel you can walk with a kick in your step if you can get through 10 and 11 here at Royal Johannesburg par. Make your way to that 11th tee box. Beautiful par 3.
The RNA Africa Amateur Women's Invitational defending champion, Gerard. Her opening a tee shot. An exceptional performance it was last year at Leopard Creek.
It's definitely a different feeling. I think there's supposed to be a bit of pressure with that title. I'm trying to think of it as like a new tournament, you know, and not have like the expectations that I have to do anything, because anything can happen, and especially like the girls are all playing so well. So I think if I've prepared well enough, so if I just play my own game, you know, anything can happen. Getting invited to a whole bunch of events is so nice. It's such a like relieving feeling, and you like get so excited, you know, for each event. I went to play the women's amateur, which was so amazing. I loved that course, and I actually just loved the whole trip there, and definitely gives me a lot of motivation, because I really do want to play again, and I want to qualify for those events.
Wonderful action here at Royal Johannesburg. We wait to see the scores from the women amateurs who are playing for starts in the Women's Amateur Championship and final qualifying for the AIG Women's Open to be played later in the year.
The par 3 12th, protected by those 2 bunkers. The left hand one not quite in play today. With that pinches front, right hand side, brings that first one on the right into play. So if you can play a fade in here, would be the preferred shot. See exactly where that pin is.
And with this wind direction, it's from the left-hand side, so that's going to help work in the fade that OG was talking about. That flag 5 from the right. The width of the green where it's sat is only about 15 yards wide. It's a slither. Bunkers protecting left and right. So 182 yards, plays a couple down the hill. Still looking like something, maybe 8 iron, which will leave himself short of the hole and the uphill birdie putt. But this is a hole that you're quite glad that it's only a gentle left to right wind. You would not want to play 12 with a heavy crosswind.
This 12th green is very well guarded by bunkers. 2 on the right, 1 on the left. And that's not too bad there. It's released just to the back edge of the green. As we head back to the 16th, par 3 over the pond with Charles Barnard. This for a lengthy attempt at a 2. Ooh, beautifully rolled. Just needed a touch more break to drop in. Should be a fairly straightforward 3.
Well, he's going to get back into the players' lounge, and everyone said, "What did you hit into 10 and 11?" He's like, "Well, it's just a lob wedge and then another lob wedge, but in a different scenario." 2 great pars for the Zimbabwean. Here's just a chip 9 iron. He'll fancy this pin.
Oh, trying to work it from the right, but as I mentioned, that pin brings that right-hand bunker into play. Short-siding himself there, Keegan Shoot.
Teeing it up on the left-hand side of the tee box.
Trying to create that angle, Andrew, isn't he? Just opening up a slightly right pin. He'll be looking at the left edge of the green and hoping his reliable fade is there with an iron.
Yeah, that's a decent shot straight over the flag. Released probably a couple paces more than what he would have liked. Looking to pick up a bounce back after unforced error at the 11th.
Even for Ster, his third shot. Trying to see that one just to advance closer to the pin.
Charles Barnard in a bit of trouble off the tee, so this his third shot. Swings quite a lot. Back uphill, didn't quite give it enough.
He's a confident player. At the back end of 2025, won the Northwest Open Championship. So take some good form into the new year. A touch more breeze.
Pasteur now with a lengthy attempt at the 15th to try and save a par. You can see how dark it is on the left-hand side, just gently pushing the ball slightly to the right. Maybe looking for a little too much. Trying to stop the bleeding on this back section of this back nine. 16 does offer a birdie. It's a very gettable pin placing today, hey OG?
Yeah, absolutely. So he needs to remain positive mentally. See if Charles Barnard can remain at 5 under. Oh, it's gonna give one back here. And at 17, if you really get a bogey here, you feel like you definitely bringing the field back into play.
Well, this championship forming part of the R&A Amateur Series globally, which began with the Latin America Amateur Championships. It went down to a thrilling finish, a playoff, and Matteo Pulcini prevailed. And with the win, he earned an invitation to this year's Masters and the Open. Of course, focus this week is on Royal Johannesburg, and then we're at Wellington for the Women's Amateur Asia Pacific. The Amateur Championship will be staged along the northwest England coast, and iconic Muirfield welcomes the Women's Amateur Championship in June.
Well, when you hit such a short iron and get it wrong, you leave yourself a plugged lie in the bunker, a fried egg, a hit and hope. He's got to pick this up steep, drop it on the back of the ball and almost stop through impact.
Yeah, that's kind of the expected result. Unfortunately, with a buried lie, you're not going to get much spin. It's going to hit the putting green and release. I think the mistake came in the tee shot. Such a difficult bunker shot to navigate.
This is the great thing about amateur golf, isn't it? It's ready golf. You rate your bunker, I'll go first. So Barno with this quick one, back down the hill. He's going to break from left to right at the end as it gets towards the hole.
Seriously good putt. Had a smile on his dial all day.
Yusuf Al-Hali the young man from Morocco. 954 in the World Amateur Golf Rankings. Really good swing. That one tugged a little to the left-hand side and just catching that slope, feeding into the bunker. With lots of space to work with. Should be fairly straightforward from there.
North Africa well represented this week. Even Verster, after back-to-back drop shots, looking to regroup. This young man lost in a playoff to Alton Fanamava 2 years ago at the Africa Amateur Championship.
I think he's going to be disappointed with that effort. It's just a short iron into this green and hitting it that far to the right. Must have been a bit nerve-wracking at one point because the water does cut in there.
Would have got the read from his playing partner, but this is 4 par. A couple of cups outside the left of the hole, and it's devilishly quick.
Just took a little bit of a bobble and ran out of legs towards the end there.
I just walked up this 12th hole down the left-hand side, and I said to a man, "You must be Brian's dad." He looks at me as if to say, "How do you know?" He had his Royal Portrush t-shirt on. I said, "You must be Andrew." He says, "That's me." I wonder how much he spent in that open shot. Watching his boy play the Open at 17 years old, now watching on for birdie on 12.
It's a trap that shot. Coming up slightly short there for Brian. It's not really a straightforward putt that's left even to save the par, but for him, he needs to really focus, hone in on it, stop the bleeding. Charles Barnard leading the way 4 under through 17. He's got the par 5 closing hole to contend with. We'll be hoping to open up a slight gap at the top.
Even Verster's blood must be boiling at this point. Having got it to 5 under par with flawless golf, he's bogeyed the last 2 to slip back into a chef second at 3 under par. And he's got an awkward chip shot to come at the par 3 16th hole. So definitely looking to save face at the third last hole of his opening round, as they all look to chase down that man you spoke about, OG Charles Barnard.
Daniel Bennett was one of the standout players in the RNA Africa Amateur Championship. Back this time around, one over as he makes the turn.
Darlington Chikiambitsa, 3 over, finished his round and a solid 75 to start. Still 3 more days of golf. Brian Ewan, we've seen a couple of shots of his looking to stabilize the boat as he makes his way onto the 13th.
A couple opportunities to go for our featured group. Schutz and Newman at 3 over par.
Great to see the supporters, the moms, the dads, the brothers, the sisters, all out there supporting their family.
Yeah, that's Lisa Kutz's family. One of the women playing in the invitational.
I think that smart play off the tee for Elibana, just going for the rescue, just for the utility, wanting to put himself in between those bunkers.
I was interested to see what Newman and Shoot would pull out here. I think this is a smart play, Sophie.
I do. You can't see the penalty area down the left-hand side. The bunker on the right, 240. And that is pushed right.
Yeah, generally on the right-hand side of the 13, you're going to be very lucky if you get a good break. It gives you a shot towards the green. So all depending where that ends up, we'll see later on. We'll find out from Sophie, who's on course with this group.
Newman is on the fairway, spat it back out. Let's see what Keegan can do. He doesn't like it. Club off the hand, heading down the right half. Bunker 240, and it's short of it.
Well, that's a very lucky bounce and kick from the trees for Brian Newman, who was well to the right-hand side. Tree knocking it back into the fairway. Maybe that's the change of momentum that he needs.
Certainly so, Tans. He hasn't quite had the swagger that he had last year.
22-year-old Zambian, Gilbert Chalwe. Part of the Africa High Performance squad. This is his third start. Just catching the right-hand greenside bunker here at the 17th, uphill par 4.
Charles Barnard found the fairway off the tee. This is his second into the par 5. A bit better there than where it pitched at first.
Beautiful white egret just parading around, looking for a snack. Oh, got one.
Perfect timing.
Is it lunchtime yet?
For her, it definitely is.
2 events. Andre Ludic. Makeable birdie here. Oh, just slips on by. Ludic will remain at 2 under par. It's been steady stuff from the young man. 2 birdies on the card. Give the first and the 12th. Other than those 2 red numbers, all pars.
Yeah, very clean card for Andre Ludic. That's all you want to do. Keep the bogeys and doubles off the card and give yourself a chance early on. Should come from his right-hand side, even first there.
The upslope to negotiate, then it will come down.
Yep. Decent effort.
Third shot. Gilbert Chalwe, right-hand bunker, fairly straightforward. Big swing, pop it up, let it release to the flag. That's a pretty good effort. A little outside of a yard or so to salvage a par.
He's played in all 3 of the Africa Amateur Championships. Gaining great experience and exposure playing on this world stage.
The tee shot from Brian Newman clattered into a tree on the right-hand side, but it did spit it back onto the fairway. He's got 182 yards to a middle left pin. If he takes it down the right side of it, could use some contours to bring it back to the hole. It's an 8-iron. The ball flies a long way in Joburg. We're at altitude.
Immaculate fairways this week at Royal Johannesburg. Safely aboard from a fairly long distance. Superb shot from Brian Newman. 25 feet. So for his birdie.
So we've got thinner air at altitude, so less drag on the golf balls. So a lot of people, especially if they're in Europe or playing yards, they will just take a meters book, and that's the 10% swap. So this is 150 meters, 165 yards to the pin, just a wedge.
Not the result you would have hoped for kick and shoot, especially from where he is. They had a really good look into that pin.
Can't believe that was just a wedge. This man does hit at prodigious lengths.
It's good to see Zimbabwean golf still has great amateurs coming through. Of course, we know that Zimbabwe's Kieran Vincent won here recently on the Sunshine Tour.
130 meters, also wedge.
That is exceptional from the Kenyan. Great shot from Elibano.
Aladdin Salama, second shot for the Egyptian into the par 4 14th. Ball's going to be ever so slightly above his feet, so he's going to have to plan to start this a tad more right and work it in towards that pin placing. Today is 10 from the right, and he's managed to navigate that beautifully. Playing alongside him in the same group, Mohamed Aziz Dardoui, the Tunisian, a little bit of trouble.
Look at match 13. Aston Wade Arthur playing with Jack Buchanan and Dennis Mara. And on the tee is the man from SCU, South Carolina University, Jack Buchanan. What a performance it was from him last year, vying for this accolade. The top 10 finish. He applied the pressure on Brian Newman. 4 straight days. Really got to learn a lot about this young man. Once again, he's got off to a solid start.
Aston Arthur, member of the Golf RSA elite squad. He's had quite a lot of opportunities playing on a professional circuit. He's fortunate enough a few weeks ago to play a practice round with him here. And he will be hoping to start making red numbers on this back nine, work his way up the leaderboard.
Got through that nicely.
Nearly Panay left. Good result.
Keegan is visibly frustrated out here. I think he's kind of lost his downswing. He's looking steep, and the club face, he's just not quite got control of it. And also, he's played the 2 hardest holes fantastically well with 2 pars, and then the par 5s he's not made the most of there. I mentioned he had a wedge in his hand. He's outside birdie range, you would think here. He's looking down the left-hand side. As it gets to the hole, the grain will want to pull it from right to left as well, but it is more left to right in shape.
It's come up considerably short there. So we'll just add to the frustrations.
Gilbert now to salvage a par. Having found the bunker in two, splashed it out to where he is. Oh, that just needed some pace. It's going to be a disappointing bogey from the fairway for Gilbert Chalwe. Par 5 to come though.
Because of how far Brian had in here, I think that's why he didn't spin down the slope. He's caught himself at the top of the hill, so he's got a short putt, but this is quick, really quick. He'll just have to touch this one off the blade.
I think that was, all things considered, a good putt pace-wise. You can see where that ball was aiming just about half a foot outside the left. And as it rolled, it stayed there. So a lot straighter than what he was expecting. Looking to pick up a couple of birdies in these closing holes, you think, Andrew?
Without a doubt. But for Keegan Shoot, all the priority is to convert this putt to remain at +3. I feel there's a matter of importance in this one, especially for his aspirations for the championship. Eli Barno has set himself up beautifully. A great look at a birdie 3 coming up.
Nicely holed. And that was for a birdie for Eli Barno. Going along quite nicely on this back nine, yeah, holding it together through that difficult stretch.
This is not easy, Tans.
Yeah, long bunker shot downhill. I think he's played that exceptionally well. And he's left himself below the hole to have a slightly uphill putt coming back. So great effort there.
Ivan Vester. He's second into the par 4, 17th. Superbly negotiated there from Vester. Opportunity to get a shot back here.
There's Jack Buchanan. Putt that'll move a bit from his left-hand side. It's fairly quick for the first bit. Watching from high above, what a great angle that is. Salama make this putt for birdie.
Speaking about air traffic, you forgot to mention the Hardy-Dars, which is what we just heard there. As we saw Laden Salami holding out his putt there. Charles Barnard now for a birdie on the last hole after a great bunker shot. Rolling over the left edge. I must admit, another one who's had a very quick peek up out of the stroke, just not staying still enough to let the putt ahead go through. Will have to settle for a par 5 at his closing hole.
He'll be disappointed with that, having an iron in his hand with his second shot into the closing par 5. Nonetheless, a superb round of 4 and a par 68 for Charles Barnard.
Newman has just seen Barno hoik it into the water left. Par 4, 400 yards, penalty area all the way down this left side. And that would explain why Brian hit it down the right, the anti-left on the downswing. So, is it an iron here for Keegan? You guys help me out?
Yeah, he's got an iron out.
Yeah, his longest iron is a 4-iron, but he has a driving iron, a 2-iron, which has got a black shaft to it. Sounded like a bullet.
Well, he didn't hold his follow-through, so he didn't like it, but where it is finished, I'm sure he'll be very content once he gets down there. It is always tough when you watch two players. One steered it left, one steered it right, and you're the last player to go. And that 14th hole can be a little intimidating from that back tee with that penalty area along the whole left-hand side, couple of undulations that kick it towards the left, tree lined on the right-hand side.
Aston Arthur at par 3 12th from across the green. From the left for birdie. Must be a par for the South African. Six pars in a row have made the turn in 37 strokes. First 9 is a par 37 with the inward half playing as a 35. All in all, a par 72 around the east.
You can see Ivan Verstaers aiming about a ball outside right. Has it got pace? Ooh, just dropping in on that left edge. And that's a great birdie. Just to settle after the 2 drop shots and a par 5 still to come.
John Lajerma from Kenya has a great start. She won't like that shot. Have to go high and over the bunkers. And there is the hardy die you spoke about. South Africa's alarm clock.
I call them Joburg fish eagles. They're not a fish eagle by any standard. So
Travel to South Africa, you'll know the noise that they can make.
there's some beautiful bird life here at Royal Johannesburg. I'm sure we'll catch a couple of glimpses of the variety as we make our way through the week. But right now, Bennett, tee shot, 182 yards, playing slightly downhill. And that's a full club short. Left himself a good angle to fairly straightforward chip it on, let it release on up.
Here's the elder statesman, Michael Karenga.
It was his birthday a little over a week ago, January 24th. Happy birthday.
Oh, that is not going to be easy at all.
It's the other relative to the hardy dog, the ibis. Often see them frolicking together.
Very long beaks. Makes it a little bit easier to get through the topsoil. Looking at the summit though of the RNA, it's Charles Barnard, even for Ster. Barnard in the clubhouse, setting the pace with a 68.
Tree trouble for our defending champion. He's going to have to shorten his backswing and saw off his follow-through, else he's going to snap his club. He's got 150 yards to the front, 160 pin. I could just see him looking down the left and chipping out. He's just pointed actually across to his playing partner Ellie to play. So he hit it in the water. So this will be Ellie's third from 150. There is such a fear of hitting the tree on this downswing. So easy to quit on it. It gets stuck in the thick cocoon grass and the ball just doesn't come out. He's got about 10 trees right in front of him. Let's see what he can master. 150 yards to the front of this green. Hold your breath.
He's gone for the brave shot. Yet to have not found too many branches. Isn't allowed a sound coming through the trees.
Well, Keegan is showing where you need to be on this short par 4. He's inside 100 yards. That pin is 11 on in the heart of the green. He needs to sharpen up his wedge play in order to pick up some birdies. Now is a good time.
I want to learn how to miss it at 2-iron to the middle of the fairway like Keegan. Oh, look at the zip on that wedge. Fantastic result. Sets up the birdie opportunity at the 14th for Keegan Shoop. Teddy, do you preserve or burn more energy carrying or pushing a golf cart, do you think?
I think if you can get one of those light stand bags, you can conserve energy. And if it's thick, then pushing can be quite draining, as we look at the third shot for Gilbert Chalwe from the left-hand side of the 18th. Short splash, catching that downslope. Oh, has he done it? Has he done it? What a great way to finish your round.
Well called, Tandy McCullum. Bring up the hat for Gilbert Chalwe. What a finish, an eagle 3 at the par 5. Such exciting stuff here at the R&A Africa Amateur Championship. The young man certainly making a statement in the opening round. Chalwe from the sand at 18. Delicately played. And he finds the bottom of the cup, an eagle 3.
Lunch is going to taste so much sweeter for him.
He's a 2 under par in a tie for 4th. Just 2 back. We are having fun.
This is where his second shot's finished, an outrageous high shot over the trees. He's now got 30 yards left from the fairway. A slight upslope. He's got to come in this shallow. Nip it. Wait forward on the left.
Just like that. Great recovery. Sophie, there must have been some second shot in the trees. Wow.
He's been all over the place off the tee, but he's somehow managed to find a gap. There's always a gap, isn't there?
Depends who you're asking, I believe.
Playing 4 from the bunker, the lie is good. He's demonstrated some good short game this afternoon, the Kenyan.
Unfortunately, just did not quite get enough rotation through the club head down into the back of the stand. Needed a bit more speed to pop it out. Second time normally is easier because you can feel exactly what you needed to do the first time. That's a good effort.
Bunker's going to make you feel a little bit silly at times.
Andrew, I think golf can make you feel a little bit silly sometimes.
I think that's probably why we love this game so much. The ability to strive for perfection, where you're never actually quite going to reach that stage.
Yeah, I think with golf, perfection is unattainable. If we can get 90%, we've done a good job. But I've read a lot of golf books growing up and learning to play this game, and I still read golf books, and two books that stand out were Jack Nicklaus's Golf My Way and Tiger Woods' Golf My Way. In both those books, they said on several occasions in their best tournaments and in best finishes, they said if they hit 2 shots the way they planned in a round of golf, it was a lot.
Those are also 2 books that I have above the desk in the study as well. I used to read those religiously growing up.
I actually didn't want to recite any other books in case I give my age away, but I actually watched those old VHS videos of Ledbetter, Nick Folder and Nick Price. And Ernie Els came out with one, and that was like your gospel to golf. Right, downhill birdie putt now for Shoot. Looking to pick up some shots. Has he done it? Yes, he has. Beautifully rolled, dropping in the center of the cup. Little fist pump.
A couple of holes coming up for him where he can pick up a couple more shots. 15th birdie opportunity available, 16th as well, pin in the middle of the green, 17 short for him. We've seen a couple of eagles already at the 18th, so opportunity there. Just to limit the damage to just a single shot for Elibano.
Quite a risky putting action, but it is effective. Commits to the stroke. Newman to remain at 3 over. All in all, a really good par 4. Troubles here down the right hand side. Spectacular second over the timber. And delightful chip shot. You asked the question, is carrying or pushing easier? I believe both of us like to carry our golf bags. I find it easier.
I prefer carrying. Sometimes hurts me when I get to the last few holes, but I much prefer carrying my own bag than pushing.
Possibly has something to do with pushing the cart through the rough. Not always on the fairway.
This is how things look in the first round of the Africa Amateur Championship. Charles Barnard leading the way alongside Ivan Fester. A couple of good scores already. Michael Wallace 1 under 71 to open his campaign.
18 players, a par or better to begin the opening round of the RNA Africa Amateur Championship. Minisu Chimini of Zimbabwe alongside his countryman Keegan Shoot. Beautiful bird life around Royal Johannesburg. Often see a particular species pruning its wings along the aqua. Here is Chimini. Putt down the hill for birdie. A round of applause and deserved. Back-to-back birdies. He's holding some putts now.
Yeah, we'll feel much better after that double. Pull those 2 shots back. Seen the wind slightly pick up, drift away again here at Royal, but hasn't really affected the golf ball too much.
Speaking to the youngster this morning, Andries van der Vyver, who plays golf out of Somerset West. Very little wind to trouble him. So a lot of these all been in action, especially tomorrow, and for their final round of the 54-hole stroke play event. At the moment, it's Gerard, the defending RNA Africa Women's champion, in a pole position alongside Bobby Brown and Lisa Kutsa, the big three coming out of South Africa. Mary is at par alongside Mutomi, and the Kenyan steady stuff as well. Miriam Masia of Zimbabwe is at +1 alongside Medina Hussein and Olivia Wood. Got a chance with Peace Kabasekwa yesterday, loving her time out in South Africa. And OG, what she's finding so different this week is the grass on the fairways and the difference of the greens compared to back home.
Yeah, I think we talk about it all the time when we have guys on the DP World Tour coming through, Hotel Hoplena Tour playing in South Africa. It's a completely different grass to what they used to at home. Ivan Fester, though, knows how to negotiate himself out of the Kikuyu. He sets up a brilliant birdie opportunity at the closing hole.
Seeing some amazing shots, especially around the green at 18.
You heard Sophie speak about Brian Newman's dad earlier on. That was just him in our shot walking alongside his son.
Tricky hole this, OG.
Absolutely. I mean, you almost want to start your tee shot down the left-hand side to give yourself an opportunity to open up to this almost center flag here today. But so many things can go wrong if that tee shot is not in the prime position.
It's too much trouble for the man from Rwanda, Felix Dusebi. Take a lot of learning as he continues to ply his trade as a top amateur from the continent in pursuit of professional honours. Jandre Ludix hit a wonderful tee shot up the hill here at 17, just a wedge in hand. Sort of three-quarter shot. Trying to use that backstop to get the ball to spin back just a little bit. So many talented players. Tomorrow's stars are all in action this week.
It's also quite important for these players to get used to having cameras. If they want to play golf at the highest level, there's going to be lots of spectators' eyes on you cameras. So it's a great exposure for them to start to get comfortable with playing golf at a high level.
Darduri for his par putt. Teams up nicely there. And Tandy makes such a great point there. You know, getting this exposure for some of these players for the very first time. We've seen it on the DP World Tour, on the Sunshine Tour, the professional level, where they have the exhibition par 3 competitions, the amateur trying to beat the pro. You know, for these amateurs playing in front of the spotlight, the cameras, all the public for the first time, it's a new transition to make.
Great tap in birdie there by Fastan. A very solid round. Just the 2 bogeys at 14 and 15, but the rest has been pretty flawless. Third shot at 8 for Willow Craig. And exactly that, Andrew. If you can get comfortable playing confident golf in front of cameras, and also part of it is like a lot of these players are exposed to having to do interviews, just gets you comfortable, and it's all part and parcel of being a top level athlete, and you do pursue the game at the professional level to be comfortable with that.
Most of these are players born in the digital age. With all the social media going around and the camera technologies, they probably have an upper hand in terms of that as well.
Ellie and Keegan are just working out whose ball is whose, and I'm sure it's Ellie's first to go. There was some run and some release on Keegan's shot.
How impressed have you been, Sophie, with the golf course?
How impressed am I? Very. I've watched Royal Johannesburg on wintry December days back in England and thought, I'd love a little go around there. It's the tradition of it for me, the way it sets up and asks so many questions. Especially like looking down its back nine, there's suddenly so much more water in play, which you don't see off the tee box. And it's one of those golf courses I bet you could play and not notice the water the first couple of times, and then you wang one left like Barno did on the last hole, and suddenly it's very much on your mind. But all three here have hit beautiful tee shots straight down the heart of this fairway, all inside 200 yards. Ellie's first to go. He's been first to go most of the day. He's got 170 yards. The pin is pitched from back to front. And you really want to keep it shy of this hole. Leave yourself an uphill putt. It's 170. It's back into the wind. So I would play that number.
You speak about all the water down the left-hand side. No doubt just be looking to favour the right-hand side of the green.
Oh, that's a little out to the right-hand side, and that's going to be fairly difficult up and down from there, depending on the lie.
Now this place doesn't set up for Brian. He hits a fade, there's a lot of right to left dog legs, and then there's all that water down the left on this back nine, but he's found a good one here. 160 yards. It's a green flag for the South African.
Taking dead aim is Brian Newman. Up at 17 for Jondre Ludek's birdie putt. Just to close his deficit to 2. Surprised that he's left it short. So giving the hole a little bit too much respect.
Jack Buchanan from the right-hand side of the 14th. Quite lucky. Looks like he had a clear shot, and what an exceptional second shot from the trees. I've heard an expression, Andrew, that birdies live in trees.
Jack Buchanan, they look like they do. That was sensational. Keegan shoot in prime position at 15. Don't flirt with the aqua. Get it out right. Safe shot. Egyptian goose. They formed part of the Mighty Ducks series. Giving away my age potentially now.
Tee shots on the 15th. Also an intimidating hole from the tee box. Bunker on the right, trees just a little right of it, and that's exactly where that ball has finished, in the tall pine trees. Water along the whole left-hand side. Fairway slopes quite hard right to left. It's going to be very lucky if there's any angle towards the flag or the green from there.
And even with the water down the left of 15, you want to try and just work it from the right off the trees, with the contour of the fairway sloping from right to left. Well, this week at 72 holes of stroke play, the leading 40 after the first 2 rounds will progress to the final 2 rounds. The exemptions, massive life-changing on the line. Entrance to the Open at Royal Birkdale, the Amateur Championship, the South African Open this year, as well as the Waterfall City Tournament of Champions and the Alfred Daniel Championship, which was recently staged here at the end of 2025. And 2 events being played simultaneously. We've got the men, we've also got the women in action, taking part in the Africa Amateur Women's Invitational. We'll see plenty of the women amateur stars in focus over the next 2 days especially.
This is a very difficult third shot for Bono now from the back of the 15th. He overshot the mark by quite a bit, popping up over the hill. And he could have maybe thrown it an extra 10 paces or so. So definitely had the wrong club in hand for his second. A little under pressure now to salvage a par.
If you got his yards and meters mixed up there on that hole, it was really overclubbed. Aston Wade with green to work with. Really has flown that a long way.
I'm just thinking about the opportunities that you get with winning this championship. I mean, get yourself to Royal Birkdale where Mr. Player won an Open, and then you've got Royal Liverpool for the men's amateur this year, so both of those about 20 minutes apart. That'd be pretty cool. That's a nice summer.
And famously where the Ulsterman Rory McIlroy won the Open.
I was actually talking to Brian Newman's parents, and I said what was the best experience about being at Royal Portrush, and his dad just said that first tee shot. To see my boy on that first tee, he had a morning tea time. He said it was amazing. It's what it's all about. So like Tandy said, left himself on the high side here, putting through the grain, breaking from right to left for his par.
Tell you what, from our angle, that looked like it had a really good chance of going in and just stayed out on that right edge. It's a tap-in bogey, but the mistake was in the second shot. Put himself under too much pressure to up and down from the back edge, upslope, semi-rough. And he's now conceded 2 bogeys after that excellent birdie at the 13th.
Daniel Bennett's got off to a sluggish start to the opening round. Came in as one of the guys to look out for. No troubles there though, gets that one to drop.
Can hit this firm, right to left. Well, he's had 2 top 10s in this championship. Remember that course record 62 last year at Leopard Creek, so he just needs to stay in it. We know if he gets to the weekend, Keegan can go low. The defending champion has left himself in the best possible position here. Up the hill, peeling from left to right for his birdie.
Just coming up short, Brian Newman. Besides the troubles of the tee, hasn't quite got the speed of the greens today.
I think there also might be an element of tension in that. Not letting the putter head go through the stroke, giving it a good chance to roll through the hole. You know, putt can never go in if it's not past the hole, never up, never in. Maybe a touch of mental anxiety. Still got some holes to go, then a par 5 to close. It's always a nice way to finish your round of golf, a birdie at the end. good kickstart for the next round the next day.
And the 18th here on the east is definitely a hole that players are looking to capitalize on. Verster did so, closing birdies. Saw him come home in 33 shots. A wonderful round, a 5 under par 67. So many players from around the continent are here representing their countries. Musamba Kopomo Jr. steady and going stronger. 1 under through his opening 9 holes. Also a solid start from Michael Chuma of Zambia. He's gone through 12. And Ludovic Baxter Keating of Mauritius at +1.
Elias Craig and Joseph Chinyai. Lakias Nande also very solid starts, just 2 over through 7. They've got some birdie opportunities coming up with the 8th, the uphill par 5. And then they've got the challenging back 9 of 10 and 11. Del Tawfiq Balala, 3 over through 14 holes, also going along quite steadily.
Rakatu Faringa also in the field, the man from Madagascar.
A stunning par 3 here, 160 yards. The wind freshening, the strongest it's been, back into the player's face now.
Fairly accessible pin location, given where this flag can be tucked at times.
You're right, Andrew, there's a couple of steps to this green, so it's important to get on the correct level. But it's stuck in the middle of the green, it's asking to be hit at. Now, Brian had the same yardage on 15 as he's got here on 16, that same wind direction. He hit a good one into the par 4. Let's see what he's got into this par 3.
He's staring it down. Solid iron shot, with the pin just almost in a bit of a bowl.
It'll be unnerving, won't it, missing the green by so much. In the fairway, 30 yards long. There's water short here, so the miss is long.
Hold on. All 3 players safely aboard.
That's okay, let's go.
Daniel Bennett with his second shot into the 14th. Ball slightly above his feet. It'll make it just shift a tad to the left. Trying to keep it up that right-hand side. Good distance control. Could have taken a bit more dead aim.
I guess we shouldn't be too surprised with the incredible scoring on the opening round on what is a really demanding golf course. 5 under par set the stage so far. Even for Verster, conditions have been close to ideal. The weather at times benign, has lifted every now and then. It's a lovely day for the spectators to come out and support tomorrow's stars. Roelof Craig with a chance here at 9. Roelof, great experience 12 months ago in Malalang, playing Leopard Creek in this prestigious championship. You have a good run. That's a pretty scorecard. 4 under par for the front 9. In your opinion, is there a a more challenging half on this golf course?
I think both nines offer up one or two really realistic birdie opportunities. 2 or 3 holes you're very happy to make a par on, and then the remainders can kind of go either way depending on your momentum at the time. I think both these nines have great finishing holes, the 18th and the 9th respectively. If you play them smart, you look at a birdie. If you try to overpower them, you find yourself in trouble to make a bogey. But it's definitely the kind of course you've got to keep your guard up the entire time.
Three good looks at birdie here.
We do, and Brian Newman is sneaking a look at the digital leaderboard to the left of this 16th green. So he's wanting to know where he stands in this championship. The wind just buffeted all 3 of the tee shots actually. I think Keegan thought his was, pin high stiff. But, a couple of yards short, and then the rest also did the same. They've got this one surrounded.
Ellie Bono will be eyeing the first attempt at a birdie 2.
Flag today on the 16th, just 11 on and 11 from the left, so lots of angles to navigate depending on where your ball is. This one's coming slightly uphill initially and then should feed quite flat at the end. Touch of movement from the right hand side. It's kind of putt you feel that you can roll a good 2 feet past. Give it a go. You can see the change of color in the grain from where Bono's standing shiny and then dark. That's good pace, just straightened out at the end. Just keep rolling them like that all day long and you'll eventually knock a couple in.
There's Dan Bennett to get back to level par for his round. Just be a par 4 for the South African. Here's Keegan. Great look at a 2. Can he get it to the hole though? Oh. It's just one of those head putts that make you scratch the back of your head. Learned just a little bit from Keegan Shoots punt.
Yeah, Brian Newman hitting the closest of the 3 players. So a little over 12 feet. You can see he's aligned his ball just on that left edge, rolling beautifully end over end, and it's taken the break into the center of the cup. So great read there, and he finally got the pace right, which is what he was just lacking on the last couple of holes. Great time to make a birdie.
His first birdie since the opening par 5. A little bit more of what we've been accustomed to seeing over the years from the holder of the Africa Amateur.
We heard Sophie saying that Newman was having a look at that live leaderboard. Maybe that was a little kick that he needed. Saw his name was too far down for his liking. I would like to see it further up there, and that birdie has moved him back up into the top 20 or so.
Pass for Barno and Shoot. Part of the clubhouse. Looking for from above. John Ray Ludek from the sand.
It's a very decent bunker shot. Nearly went in on the second bounce. It's going to have about a 5-footer putting slightly downhill again on the 18th. Should be a touch from the right. Here's a look at the 17th, uphill par 4. You want to keep it up the center left-hand side of the fairway. Let the camber kick it back towards the right. Does demand a very precise tee shot, but it does set up a short club in. Very realistic scoring opportunity. Kind of hole you feel like you want to birdie 2 out of 4 rounds. Bunker should only be in play unless you are out of position off the tee. Flag today just 9 from the right hand side.
It's a blind tee shot for these players, and like you said, short, narrow fairway. Now when Newman played in Alfred Dunhill, he finished birdie on his opening round. How about making it 3 in a row here?
That's swinging a little bit more confidence in it.
The wind is funneling down this hole. It's actually switching and come back into our faces. So the previous holes are into the wind, and now 17 is as well, off the tee shot anyway. Looking at a left exit here, so he's trying to fade it.
And he will love it.
That's massive.
Might have to send that golf ball into first aid after this.
That is so huge.
It narrows at 275 and plays 15 yards up the hill.
Well, to the right from the canyon. A little bit of trouble down the right-hand side where the other two are in perfect position. It was a monstrous tee shot from, from Keegan.
He's going to flick in a wedge.
It's unbelievable.
Like, I mean, that is incredible. But, yeah, if you've got the length and can use it, why not?
Just needs to start taking advantage of those positions. Get it closer to the hole in pursuit of top spot. Even Verster's at 5 under. Leads by 1 ahead of Barnard and Craig.
Just caught up with Ivan Verster after he's 67. Really happy with how he played. Knows that could have been better, but will definitely take a 67 start as he looks to once again challenge in the Africa Amateur Championship.
He was runner-up 2 years ago. Dalton van der Merwe. Been knocking on the door. He really wants to claim this title.
For a share of 11th place in the red numbers. At -1, Michael Wallace, Carl Johnson, John Lejiwa, and Michael Chuma.
Super impressed by Johnson, the German 1 under. Really solid starts. Chuma also there in a tie for 11th position. Steady stuff, JL De Bruyne, level par 72 on the opening day.
Good to see Aston Arthur. Last year, of course, came in as one of the favorites to this event. Unfortunately, got sick and wasn't able to take part in the tournament. So as he heads up to try to turn pro, this will probably be one of his biggest final events as an amateur.
Mateo Rakatufaringas at +3 through 9 holes. You can't win the championship on the opening day, but you can certainly put yourself in a great position to challenge. We are here at the fabulous Royal Johannesburg, competing on the East Championship layout.
What excites me about this event is that, especially for the amateurs, I mean, they get a sense of what professional golf is almost about. The setup here is almost the same as what you'll get for Alfred Daniel Championship, just from the way they're treated. So you get really as close as possible to what pro golf can be. Great putt there for Jandre Ludek, closing off with a birdie for a bogey-free 3 under 69.
Playing the Africa Amateur for the second time in his career. Clean scorecard, a beautiful sight. And it's amazing to see when you walk through the clubhouse. You know, there's the doctor, there's the physio. You speak about all the top level amenities that the top players around the world professionally get to enjoy. They're all here. Aston Arthur just backpedaling a little bit. The RNA, the golf's organizing bodies, does such incredible work. This wonderful game.
Here's our first look at the Africa Amateur Women's Invitational. Lisa Kutzer out front alongside Charlotte Millard, 2 under through the opening holes. Last year's champion Gerard, currently 1 under. Maria Macia, she was a contender last year, 1 over through her first 5 holes.
Bianca Nkleku from Kenya is at +1 through 2. Medina Sane is at +3. Salma Al-Hali in a tie for 19th. These amateur women's players playing 54 holes of stroke play.
Brian Newman here, good one down here as well. He's only got 88 yards to a pin. Looking straight down it. Can land it at it, spin it back.
Got to say, that was an exceptional shot as well from the Kenyan. He's also found the green a little bit earlier.
I don't know if you saw the other ball on the green, but Ellie hit a wonder shot from under the trees. He's actually hit it closer than Brian. So we've got 2 beyond the pin here, and a rule of thumb at Royal Johannesburg is to leave yourself short of the hole. Now, we saw how much spin Keegan can generate on these short shots. He's got 72 yards to the flag after carrying this golf ball over 320 yards in the air. It's just a flick from here. 72 left.
Tell you, I have a funny feeling I'll be heading to the range after this round, especially working on those wedges.
Yeah, I don't think he's managed to hit his number as confidently as he possibly normally does. A couple of missed opportunities as we look at a lengthy birdie attempt, putting slightly up the hill, right to left, left to right at the end for Aston Arthur.
Actually, am I right by saying Aston had to pull out of this championship late last year?
Yeah, he unfortunately got food poisoning and had to pull out. But he's certainly still one of the top contenders in South African amateur golf. Hoping to turn pro in the next few months. We'll go to the Q School here on the Sunshine Tour in South Africa.
That's our feature group just making their way onto the green at 17. At 15. Buchanan for a birdie. Jackie Boy will remain at 3 under. Egret doing his patrol, Tans.
On lunch patrol. Got it wrong early. It's a great egret.
It's a great sight. The bird life around here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see the long-crested eagles. We've seen a couple eagles on the scorecard already today.
Further away than he would have liked, from inside 100 yards. He's above the hole. Or pours in from the side of the green here. This for back-to-back birdies for our defending champ.
Other than 16, he's left quite a few putts short. The defending champion just needs to find a bit more in his game.
I believe that Keegan's long game has bled into his putting, that there's the frustration. He's not been hitting convincing putts. There's a chance to start here on 17, right to left. It's all short, that follow through. There's a frustration as the hat comes off as well.
There have been some wonderful shots around the east today. Almost from this man, Elibano. He's had one birdie on this back nine, that's to make it another. Keegan shoot just to clean up for his par, to remain at 2 over par. He's got the par 5 to come, and he's certainly got the length to reach into. Needs a strong finish just to ease that frustration just a little bit. Just a par this time around for Brian Newman. That wonderful birdie at 16, which you felt just kind of kick-started his round again. Speaking of 16,
very strong golf grip through Jack Buchanan, needing to keep that club face very square through impact, holding it off. That maybe just missed a good landing spot of about 2 meters further up, with a release quite close, just catching that front ridge that guards the front portion of that 16th green.
Daniel Bennett. About half a club too much.
Aston Wade Arthur pegging it up at the last of the par 3s on the East Championship layout. Can he get it to the hole? Lovely iron shot. So our feature group will be making their way towards a bird's eye view of the 18th green in front of the clubhouse and the practice facility.
If you watch the Alfred Daniel Championship, on the far left there's that bunker where Jaden Shaper hit a miraculous shot to set up an eagle chance to beat Sean Norris in the playoff of the Alfred Daniel Championship to claim his first Sunshine Tour and DP World Tour title. I'm sure many of the amateurs in the field today would have watched and seen that.
At 514 yards, this is your birdie opportunity. Natalie, Brian's mum, says he always birdies 18 here. But this one is right.
Nearly took his father out there.
Well, since I've been out with Brian, I've got 2 fairways that he's hit, the last one and the 11th. So if there's a trip to the range for Keegan for his wedges, there's one to the range for the tee box for Newman. That bunker far left is 324 yards away with the upslope.
Fortunately finding the trap you spoke about.
And for such an old golf course, I think the repositioning of the bunkers around Royal Johannesburg has been magnificent because they're in play for the long hitters as well as the short. So there's a short right bunker that starts at 264, and that is going to be what's on Ellie's mind, whereas the long left one was on Keegan's.
Yeah, Royal Johannesburg was founded in 1891. The East Course in 1939. Also got modernized back in 2017. This amazing Robert Grimsdale design that has certainly stood the test of time.
So Daniel Bennett slightly overshooting his approach into 16. Delicate chip coming up for him. Has he got it? Oh, yes, he does. Fantastic hands by the youngster. Back-to-back birdies to get it to -1.
And 3 red numbers in his last 4. Something about these amateurs and chip-ins.
This is the 15th hole, actually, the par 4. Oh, what a wonderful touch there from Daniel Bennett.
Up ahead at 16. Here's a look at Jack Buchanan's birdie putt as we watch Dennis Morrow just marking his 35-year-old Kenyan playing alongside Jack Buchanan. Saw this putt a little earlier. It stays a lot straighter than what you think. You've just got to get the pace right. Unfortunately, looking for a little too much. It is, however, going to be very straightforward tap in 3.
Yeah, it's always a slightly tricky green to read, this one. Aston's putt doesn't have too much in it. Looking just inside the left-hand side of the cup. Trying to get to red numbers for Aston Arthur. And he's read it superbly. Great shot, great putt. 1 under par he goes to.
So Aston Wade moves himself into tied 10th at 1 under. Two holes to go with a reachable par 5 to finish.
Well, the beautiful clubhouse is in the distance down the left-hand side here of 18. The big Zimbabwean is walking towards his ball in the bunker. It's at the far side of the bunker on the upslope. It's going to be very difficult for him. The Kenyan threaded one through the bunkers. He had a beautiful shot. 300 yards off the tee box. That's left him 200 yards to the front, 210 to the pin. Now he's shooting up this green. We've got bunkers guarding left and right, and a feature of this Royal golf course is the tiny greens. All the country's flags are on the left-hand side, just around the putting green. They're floating from left to right. So if the ball does start going up in the air, moving to the right, it will find that greenside trap. This play is about a club up the hill as well. So 210 yards to the flag, 220 yards with the adjustment. The most perfect fairways. And an opportunity to grab one on this 18th hole. A reachable par 5. 210 yards, long iron, wind from left to right.
Kenyan golf, of course, growing as well. Guys will be gearing up for the magical Kenya Open as well from the 19th to the 22nd of this month.
Some more tree trouble for Newman. He's got 170 yards front. He's got to play this low and bend it. I mean, bend it 50 yards from left to right if he's going to get close to this green. He could lay it up short of all the traps and try and get up and down. Or he could try and work one from left to right. A 170 yards front, 180 pin on the upslope here. Strike is key. If this hits the green, it's going to have a lot of action.
Looked slightly heavy. Not the worst result. All inside the top 10. Under par here at Royal Johannesburg.
Balala, third shot on the 17th, chipping up. Oh, nicely done. Great way to finish the hole for Del Tawfiq Balala from Kenya. Putting a nice strong finish there.
Brian Newman was concerned about his shot. It hit some trees. He wondered if it had kicked onto the chipping green or out of bounds, but it hasn't. It dropped straight down in the rough down the left-hand side. First to go is going to be Keegan Shute. He's got 66 pin, a false front to contend with. Quite a steep one as well that blocks this flag. Guess where we're playing this week? That's Dad Andrew helping Brian move the Royal Johannesburg sign, which is blocking his way, as is the tree. The branches will be in the way in the backswing here. There is a sprinkler head to the right of him that potentially he could be stood on, and if he is, he could get a drop. Let's see if he's noticed it. If he was taking a full stance, like a full swing, he'd be stood on it, but with a narrow stance he isn't. He's got 55 yards pin, 45 front. You're looking at pitching this on that front edge. Having the upslope take the sting out of it. Carried it all the way to the back edge with that long iron from 210 yards, and it's just stuck in the back rough here. So he is pitching this one onto the downslope. Everything falls from that back right on this 18th green, so he'll ask Brian to mark his golf ball, and that marker he'll be looking at keeping it on the right edge of that ball marker, landing it a third of the way, and then have it released down to the hole.
Can just see how well to the right he's aiming, popping it up, using the undulation from the right hand side, feeding it beautifully down to the hole. A little over 1.5 feet left. Very well navigated there. Keegan Shute. This one is quite a bit from the right. 25 feet putting down. Has he managed to judge it? Oh, beautiful pace, and just stayed out there.
I'm sure he'll come back firing tomorrow After a bit of work at the range, especially with the wedges. Long hits off the tee. Wasn't able to capitalize today. Disappointing round of 74. We'll begin the second round at 2 over par.
You can see he's just shaking his head. He knows he had a far better score in him today. He definitely put himself in good positions off the tee. And as Sophie mentioned earlier, going to go back to the range and work on those distance wedges. Brian Newman now, putting slightly uphill, a touch from the right. Can he give himself a closing birdie and limit the damage to 1 over? Yes, he can. So that moves him up into top 20. He's not out of it. So we'll call that a good bad day.
2 birdies in his last 3 holes for the holder of the R&A Africa Amateur Championship. A strong finish from the young man. Momentum to take into the second round. Elibano to finish off with a birdie 4. Great stuff from the Kenyan.
Been very impressed with him today. He's put together a great back nine on that difficult opening stretch of the Beast of the East.
Well, from us in commentary here at Royal Johannesburg, the Beast of the East. The Africa Amateur Championship and the R&A Africa Amateur Women's Invitational is underway. We'll see you for the second round tomorrow.